Matt, welcome. Thanks for joining me today, and always good to see you, sir.
It's a privilege. It's always a privilege to spend time with you and talk about things that we're really passionate about, and maybe give people some insights on what's going on under the hood there in the AI space.
Absolutely, excellent. So, as I mentioned, you're currently out in DC
I
in
am.
the Fellowship for Artificial Intelligence, the Office of the White House. Been out there for a couple of months now. How's it going? What can you tell us about it?
I think the biggest thing for me, and I can't go into specifically what I do for the agencies I work on, but the biggest shift is from private industry market exploitation. Let's look for a place to exploit the market and grow and create revenue, to civic duty, where we're really in this to help the American people. How can we get these agencies? And there's lots of agencies, like the Space Force and the Department of Defense and all those kinds of crazy agencies. There's lots of them that really make the government run. And so the mind shift from private industry, let's find something to exploit and make tons of money, to, hey, let's really kind of help the American people. Big shift, really big shift. So that's kind of the core of what we're doing.
So, in general, artificial intelligence, should people be afraid of it right now? Is this a Skynet thing and Terminator coming to real life? It's going to take over the world, and we're going to be at war with one another. Or what should
No, I
people
don't.
think about it right now?
I don't think so. Now, just as a historical background, I've been in the AI space since the mid '80s, so I actually have some perspective as to how it's matured, how it's evolved, how it's growing, how it's integrating with business, how it's coming out of the lab, as opposed to what you're seeing right now, which is a lot of media hype and paperback writers who are relatively self-serving in that space. And FUD works. There's two things that sell: fear and sex, right? And AI is not going to have any of the latter, but it certainly has much of the former. And
Yes.
so that anytime it doesn't pass the sniff test and you start hearing things that are hype and really kind of moving the needle of truth to a place that's not really true, then you should have a healthy dose of skepticism there. The best way to drop that noise is to stop talking to the media, stop talking to the paperback writers, and then start talking to the engineers, like the guys actually making the tech, because they know how it works. There's a big difference between architects that make pretty buildings, pictures of pretty buildings, mind you, and the engineers who actually make the buildings. That's where all the magic
Yes.
happens. So that's where the noise drops. So yeah, I don't think that that Terminator's coming for us anytime soon.
That's good. That's a good thing. How would you describe the state of AI in businesses today? Or is that too broad of a question? Does it vary
Well, it's not
dramatically?
bad. It's a good question to field. The state of AI there is, there's a lot of noise being driven by tech, because tech likes to sell their wares. There's a lot of FUD. There's a lot of fear of missing out. There's a lot of those kinds of gaslighting and psyop games going on so that you can buy more of their stuff, because it alleviates those worries and concerns. I mean, there are some worries out there. There's a VUCAD world we're getting into. AI is a general purpose technology, which means it has different characteristics than a singleton technology, and we need strategy. It demands a unique strategic approach to kind of make sure organizations get AI ready. So nothing more than that. It's just a little bit more thoughtfulness in that space.
We're recording this approximately about a week after the debacle with Crowdstrike and its effect on Microsoft servers and everything like that. So we know the impact that had on many businesses, not only throughout the country, but literally throughout the world, which is amazing. And as we know, it was just a little small files, just one line of code that impacted all of this, which is still tremendously amazing and scary at the same time. Your thoughts on this and AI as it relates to this? Do you think AI could have prevented this? Do you
Oh,
think
sure.
AI would be in place, should have been in place to prevent this type of thing going not only now, but going forward?
So I don't know if it can be put in place now, but in its fullest, it definitely could. Now, AI is one of those things that evolves, and we can expect it to evolve. Like you see the emergence of Gen AI on the event horizon. It's kind of late for the party. Those of us who've been in the space for a while, we knew that AI is going to evolve into a hybrid form. It's going to have these unique capabilities. Those capabilities will have the ability to interact with humans in much better forms than the previous AI. We can expect that evolution of AI to continue and continue and continue and get more powerful and more capable, marching towards this concept, and it's only a concept, of artificial general intelligence that knows a lot about a lot, kind of like Cortana in Halo, if you've ever played those games.
Mm-hmm.
Those kinds of things would have known enough to check all those things autonomously. It would just know enough,
Yes.
and we have those actually in the military domain. The military domain, when they dispatch a swarm of autonomous vehicles to go after a target, they communicate with each other. They have contingency plans. They know how to kind of short circuit hurdles and things like that. They're smart enough to fix problems. Now that's on the military domain. We'll eventually get that in the private sector in time.
In general, for businesses out there, what other high-level AI challenges, concerns, and trends are out there that businesses need to be aware of and maybe concerned about?
So I think the bigger trends are the idea of a VUCAD world. So virtual, uncertain, chaotic, ambiguous, and digital. So that's, we love our acronyms. But that really undergirds two major things: the global technology arms race. Everybody, every organization and every sovereign state across the globe, and some organizations who have nothing to do with sovereign states, they're all gearing up with technology. And so that's shrinking the innovation patterns, and those create perturbances and disturbances and disruptions and things like that to kind of upend business, as well as government, as well as education, as well as all the other organizations. But AI is one of those things that its characteristics, because it's a general purpose technology, infuses everything out there. So AI is going to be everywhere. You're going to walk into a bar, it's going to know what your beer is, how to have it ready for you before you hit the pedestal. That's how smart it's going to be. I mean, I'm being cheeky, but as it manifests everywhere, and you can see, just go to some obscure area that you wouldn't expect AI to be in, and they're working on it. So when that happens, that changes things greatly. So I think that's going to be a big one. Intelligent agents are going to change things, because then you're thinking swarm technology, where each one of those are smart to do things like Gen AI on its own, and you can have factories that generate hundreds of thousands of these things. So that could change things. And then the third aspect of this is the omni-channel approach, when you have information coming from your watch and your phone and your tablet and TV and print and all of that. That could change things as well. So there's some interesting things that organizations need to prepare for. We're moving to a very harsh environment. We need to morph into a way that can withstand that organizationally.
Anybody who's watching has an opportunity to have you come in and spend 90 minutes with not only them, with their business leaders, and talk about all of the things we're essentially scratching the surface on today. Anything related to artificial intelligence, the trends that you've seen within the market, and the trends that they need to be aware of, not only in the businesses that you've seen, but specifically in their industry. So you have that opportunity, free of charge, as we said, to come in and talk to them. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that? And again, the overall purpose, what you think they can get out of it, and what it could lead to for their organization.
Sure. So I think at the top end of that is you're looking as to be an advisor to some of these organizations that go, you know what, technology is creating a lot of noise. How do we really do things? Take the technology and out of the equation and look at it from a business strategy perspective. It drops the noise right away. So we initially talk about the gravity of the why. Like, why do you need to be AI ready? What does that mean against the backdrop of a VUCAD world and a global technology arms race? By the way, AI is not the only massive technology. You got biotech, nanotech, and quantum tech on the end of those that are all going to change the world too. How organizations create roadmaps to go from where they are now to where they ought to be, and how do they prioritize all the plethora of things that becoming AI ready really, really means. Because not every organization should have the same recipe for getting mature in that space. How do you marry the intellectual synthesis of assessments that go across the organization with boots on the ground, real world experience? Because you have to have those. That's really important as well. We found that in our research that culture and change management are integral to successful AI implementations that make real money. What are those surprises that we get from there? Workforce development, how do we uptick? So a lot of these kinds of things are elements that we want to explore. we want to make the organization aware of, and have them get a really good navel gaze as to what they're dealing with their own org, and how they might mature without having the technology guys breathing down their neck and spewing FUD and fear of missing out and all this other kind of stuff. That leads to a much healthier, richer conversation.
And I will add for our listeners, you don't have to be an Ambient Consulting current client right now. If you're not a client, you can still contact me, reach out, and we'll get something set up. And that's really all there is to it as far as getting this set up. Just reach out to me. It's reach out, and we'll get something set with me, you, and Matt and your business leaders, and we'll get it all set up. Again, 90 minutes for free with this guy is worth its weight in gold for sure. With that, I think that's we're out of time. We're a quick podcast today. We greatly appreciate your time as always, Matt. Thanks for being a trusted advisor of Ambient, and we look forward to seeing you soon on down the road.
It's a privilege. Always glad to be here. Thank you, Tom. Good to see you.
Thank you.